Good afternoon. This is Delilah Sky reporting live on Channel 9 News at 6 o'clock with my buddy, Frickin' McGee. Our first story today is on a mysterious, malevolent phantom, locally known as Boo Radley. It is rumored that Boo only comes out during the night, that his diet consists of raw squirrels and cats. We will explore these rumors and the story behind Boo Radley as reporter Veronica Welsh gets an inside scoop from some of the citizens of Macomb. Now, here is Veronica Welsh reporting live at the Radley's house.
Hi, this is Veronica Welsh reporting live at the Radley's place for Channel 9 News. As you can see, this place is nearly abandoned and would be the perfect place to hold such a man like the mysterious Boo Radley. Now that you've seen where he lives, let's get some information from some of the townspeople.
Excuse me, could I please take a moment of your time?
Sure, lady. My name's Scout, and this is my brother James.
Scout, would it be okay if I asked you a few questions on the mysterious Boo Radley? I'm Veronica Welsh reporting live for Channel 9 News.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, what do you know about Boo Radley?
He's about 6.5 feet tall, judging by his tracks. His hands were always bloodstained from the animals he eats. He has a long, jagged scar running across his face. His teeth are all rotten and yellow. His eyes pop and he drools most of the time.
So you've never actually seen Boo Radley?
No, but many of the people in Macomb haven't. Oh, Miss Crawford, it's a downright awful story about him. You gotta go and talk to her. She's got plenty of stories.
Oh, well, before I go, do you have any other information you'd like to share on about Boo Radley?
Of course, ma'am. According to the neighborhood, I ain't alive when Boo was young, but when Boo was in his teens, he was in the gang. They did petty little things, but no one had enough nerve to tell Boo's father that Boo was in the wrong crowd. One night, something happened and the gang locked some man inside a courthouse. The judge charged him with a couple of things and decided to send the boys to a state industrial school, but Mr. Radley wouldn't allow it. And the judge released Boo and he wasn't seen again for another 15 years.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.
Our pleasure. Bye. Bye.
Coming! What happened, young Mix? What can I do for y'all today?
Hi, I'm Veronica Welsh reporting live for Channel 9 News. We're doing a story on the mysterious Boo Radley, and we're wondering if you could share your knowledge on this man.
Well, sure. First of all, my name is Stephanie Crawford. Nice to meet you. I'd be glad to tell you the stories about the horrible man, Mr. Boo Radley.
Thank you.
Well, now, honey, if you've already talked to Jim and Scout, you would know what his appearance is, and you'd also know that he only comes out at night, right, hon?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Well, the first thing you should know is that he always makes sounds at night. When you're about to look for the sounds, he's gone without a trace behind him.
Oh, wow.
One time, when Boo was sitting in his house, cutting up the Macomb Tribune for something in his scrapbook. When Mr. Radley walked by, Boo took his scissors, stabbed his father in the leg, took them out, wiped them off on his pants, and then went back to his activities as if nothing happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's mighty scary. You know what? It reminds me of that Tom Robbins game whenever he...
We're a little off topic, but thank you for your time.
You're welcome, ma'am. Now, make sure to watch out for that Boo Radley.
Will do. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Excuse me, are you Miss Atkinson?
Why, yes. And you are?
Veronica Welsh, reporting live for Channel 9 News.
Well, how may I help you today?
We're doing a story on Boo Radley, and we're wondering what you know about him.
Well, first, it's not Boo, it's Arthur Radley. And I'd be happy to tell you more. Would you like to come in for some fresh pound cake?
No, thank you, though it does sound good. So what do you know about Boo? Arthur.
Well, as a young boy, Arthur was as nice as he could be. He was very polite to me.
So are the rumors true?
Well, there would be 3/4 colored people and 1/4 Miss Crawford. You know, when Miss Crawford said that he was standing outside her window in the middle of the night, I asked Stephanie, what'd you do? Move over in the bed and ask him to come in? Ha! That shut her up.
I bet it did. Well, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.
You too, hon.
Thanks, Veronica. Our next story today is on a fire that burned down Miss Maudie Atkinson's house. Miss Atkinson claims she is not sure how the fire started, but says it could have been caused by the flue in her kitchen. She didn't seem all too upset about losing her house, though. Once again, we will go to Veronica Welsh live on the scene. To you, Veronica.
Hi, this is Veronica Welsh once again reporting live.
I'm here at what used to be Miss Maudie Atkinson's house with Miss Maudie Atkinson herself. So, how do you feel about your house burning down?
Well, I always wanted a smaller house. Gives me more yard. Just think, now I have more room for my azaleas now.
So you don't mind at all that your house burned down?
No, I just hate the chaos that it's caused. I always hated that old cow barn. Thought of burning it down myself. Except they'd lock me up.
Well, thanks again for your time.
You're welcome, my dear.
Now back to Delilah Sky with some inside information and our next story.
Thanks again, Veronica. We just got some inside information on something that happened during the fire. The mysterious Arthur B. Radley, whom we talked about earlier, surprisingly showed up at the site. No one saw him, but it is rumored that he put a blanket on a child who was standing out in the freezing cold. Anyway, our next story is on an old rabid dog called Tim Johnson. This dog was walking around town all crazed with rabies. Once seen, the Finch's housekeeper, Calpurnia, immediately alerted everyone of the situation. The sheriff, Heck Tate, along with Mr. Atticus Finch, soon showed up. Watch as Sheriff Heck Tate does a peculiar thing.
Why, Mr. Finch, that dog looks quite rare.
I reckon he's looking for a place to die.
He's far from dead. He ain't even got started yet.
He's within range, Heck. You better shoot him now before he goes down the street. Lord knows who's around the corner. Scout, Cal, go inside now.
Take it, Mr. Finch.
Don't waste time. Go on.
For God's sakes, look where he is. If I shoot now, it'll go right straight through the Radley's house. You know I can't shoot.
Well, I haven't shot in 30 years.
I'd be mighty comfortable if you did it now. Good shot. A little to the left.
Always was.
Well, our last story for today is about a young child who stopped the whole mob. Yep, that's right. 8-year-old Scout Finch stopped the whole mob by just being a child. The men in the mob were around the jail that was holding Tom Robinson when the children went to see their daddy, Atticus Finch, who was guarding Tom. The men were aiming to do some serious damage to Tom, whether or not Atticus was there. When the children, Jem Finch, Scout Finch, and Charles Baker Harris, showed up, the men's plans still hadn't changed. The children's father was begging the children to leave, and when they finally gave in to him, Scout Finch decided to have a conversation with one of the members of the mob. The innocence of this child was enough to make the mob stop and think about what they were doing. They soon left, and the children went home with their father. Well, that's all we have for... Wait a second! This just in! Bob Ebel tried to kill Scout Finch and Jem Finch, and ended up killing himself in the process! Our news crew is heading over to the Finch's house right away! To you, news crew!
Excuse me, we just heard that Mr. Bob Ewell has tried to kill your children.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for that Mr. Arthur Radley, that father wouldn't be here right now.
Arthur Boo Radley?
Yes, ma'am. It was awfully kind of him to show up in that moment, don't you think?
So you actually saw him. Wow. Was he as the stories described him?
No, ma'am. Not at all. He was awfully kind and was one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Ah, yes, it was very nice of Mr. Arthur to save him. I don't know what I would do without my Scout and Jem.
Is everyone all right? Where is Jim? Is he hurt?
Everyone's all right, but Jem did break an arm. He was knocked unconscious, but is resting in his room now.
They're lucky to be here right now. Good thing Scout here was wearing her costume.
Costume?
Yes, ma'am. I was in the school pageant on the agriculture of Maycomb. I was a ham.
So a ham saved your life?
I reckon so. That's what everyone's been saying.
Well, it's been a long night. Scout here needs to get some rest, and I need to go look after Jem. It'd be mighty nice if we could have some peace.
All right. I'm sorry for taking your time. Have a good night.
Not.
Night, ma'am.
Oh, well, what a hectic day for Channel 9 News. Anyway, see you next time on Channel 9 News at 6 o'clock with my buddy, Squirky McGee.
Hey, stay! Die!
the mysterious Arthur.
Right there. He's dead.
It's like a slice of food. Squirky Mickey.